life is what?
Lifing.
Life is lifing? Life is lifing. And you know what? I know exactly what you mean. Adulting.
Yes. Adulting. And I think like 2022 has probably been my best but hardest year.
Wow.
Yeah, definitely winging it. And I have my life vest on and I'm gasping for air most days.
Yeah, I feel you on that. But you know what? We're going to look back on this and be like, you remember when life almost took me out? And we got through it though.
All I can say is that I literally said this to myself on Monday: to whom much is given, much is required. And I ain't never felt those words more than I feel them right now. Because this is everything I prayed for, but damn.
And on that note, Jen of Red Lips and Passports. Now, it is with an S, right? Because you know, Black people like to put an S on everything. So I just want to make sure there is an S on it.
It ain't like Aldi. It really have an S on it. You know, Black folks always talking some Aldi.
Nordstrom's. Yes. So a self-proclaimed budget travel connoisseur, Jen has been sharing tips and tricks to travel the world affordably. She's been doing it since 2016. And after taking her first international trip using a plane ticket layaway service. Okay, I'm about that life right there. She's built a platform to share with her followers how to travel the world without breaking the bank. And I'm sure we could all use those tips. A lot of travel hacks. She's been able to travel the world for as low as $75. I don't know how, but we're going to get all into it. Welcome, Jen.
Thank you. I'm going to show you guys all the things. So make sure you're following me on Instagram because I'm always telling all the tea on how to travel the world without going broke.
And that's just what I need. I'm always looking for a deal. And so I started researching like, okay, what's the best day to book a flight? What's the best day or how long should you stay at a hotel? Because you can get like, you know, the fourth night free and all that stuff. So I'm all about it because I want to travel more than what I'm already traveling. For all you haters that's like, you're always gone. Do you get that? Like, you're always going somewhere.
Every day, every single day. They like,
where you going now?
Where are you now? You don't let no grass grow under your feet, as the old folks say.
Yeah.
Always.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about yourself and what made you get into, you know, traveling, and you travel solo, but you are not afraid to pack up and go. Have you always been that way?
No. So actually, so funny is because I was definitely a Miami, Vegas, Atlanta girl. You know, we always talking about, Black folks always talking about we travel when we go to those same three places.
Right.
But actually how I got started is in 2014, two of my very, very close friends moved to Australia. And I very much was like, well, I only got $2. I can't afford to travel. So when they moved, I was like, out of sight, out of mind, right? Like, I'm like, we're not friends no more. So if y'all come back to America, then we could still be friends. But
you ain't cut off the friendship because they'd have moved.
But that's how I felt in my mind. Like, I was never going to go see them because in my mind, I couldn't afford it, right? And so they were like, you know, we've been gone, you know, for over a year now. Like, when are you coming? And I'm like, well, I can't afford to come. But it was like literally when I was getting ready to let them know, like, I'm never coming, someone told me about Airfordable, which is a plane ticket layaway system. And it's Black owned. It's like affordable, but it's Airfordable.
Okay.
And so I booked my flight through Airfordable to go to Sydney, Australia. And that was my first trip. I had no idea what I was doing. Even when I booked the trip, I didn't even have a passport when I booked the trip. I spent 10 days there. And while I was there, I booked my next trip because it was like,
oh, so you just got
a game changer. It was like bam, 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 bam. Like, I was like, oh, this is what it's giving. okay, yeah, we going to Iceland next. Like, and then in Iceland, I booked the next trip. Like, it was like not a game for me. And it was like I had officially been bitten by the travel bug, and I haven't stopped since.
So your first trip, your first international trip was Australia.
Yes. I mean, it was like go big or go home.
Okay, yeah. Because my first trip was definitely everyone's first international. It was Cancun.
Yep.
I was like, let's go. I'm going to Mexico. Where can I get a cheap flight? Cancun, let's go.
Yeah,
And it was like that. After that, I said, oh, I'm getting all types of stamps.
Yes. Yes. Travel more, worry less at that point. It was definitely like not Cancun by any means. It was so.
Wait, was that shade? Are you trying to say that you went halfway around the world? Like, it wasn't, it was not giving Cancun. It was giving kangaroos and.
When I say that, what I'm saying is like most people start off small. It was like, oh, you just going to jump out there and you can't even swim. So it was like it was very overwhelming. I ain't even going to lie. Like, I would rather have started off like something small because Cancun is what, like a 5-hour trip, right? A 5-hour flight.
Yeah.
This was 28 hours of travel time. It was very. Yeah, it was.
I didn't know that flight was that long.
So I left here November 18th. I got to Australia November 20th because of like the time zones. Right. So it was a lot. Like, it was very overwhelming.
That is a lot for your first
at the same
flight.
Time.
Your first,
definitely.
5 hours is, for me, I'm like, all right, I'm getting a little restless. And even the 5-hour flight, well, it feels like 5 hours. Feels like actually 24 hours when you're flying from one coast to the other. And I know when I would fly to LA, I'm like, I would fall asleep and wake up and be like, oh my gosh, we're just over Vegas. When are we good? That felt like the longest flight ever. So I couldn't even imagine like my first flight being over 24 hours. Like, that's a lot.
It wasn't.
So you are the goat for that.
Straight.
Oh, okay. So you were slicing it a little bit. Okay.
No. It was 28 hours of total travel time. It was 28 hours of total travel time. So I had 2 layovers. The longest stretch was, I think, 17 hours on the plane.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So how long was your layover?
So I had like a 45-minute. I went from DC to Toronto. And then that was like a 45-minute layover. So I literally went back through security and then got on the next flight. And then I had a 4-hour layover in Vancouver. And then from Vancouver, I went to Sydney. And I believe that was 17 hours.
Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
it was extra.
What inspired you to start the blog, to start documenting your experiences and like giving folks travel tips? Did you have people coming to you like, girl, how are you doing it? How are you traveling all the time? Or what did you do on your trip? Where did you go? What inspired your blog?
So it was all of the above. And actually, Red Lips and Passports started off as a travel blog, as a beauty blog called My Product Addiction. And I started it with the encouragement of my therapist because I had just gotten out of I just was trying to get over a horrific breakup. You know, these men sometimes, or not even men, people, period.
Yeah.
Can really throw you for a loop. And I was really having a hard time coming out of that heartbreak. So I needed something to focus my mind on. And so I switched to a beauty blog because I was also dealing with some like skincare issues. Okay. And then in the midst of me starting the beauty blog, I started traveling. And then I needed to find a way to incorporate my love for beauty products and travel. And so Red Lips and Passports was born. And every time I would go somewhere, people would say when so like I said, I went to Australia first, and then my next trip was Iceland. And so when I went to Iceland and I posted it, people were like, well, why are you in Iceland? Big
destinations. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so
I think my next one was like closer to Mexico. It wasn't that far off. Matter of
So
fact, I think it was in Mexico. It was just in another.
it was,
Okay,
I
Iceland.
literally
Okay.
was like, go big or go home. So people was like, well, why are you in Iceland? And I was like, because it's cheap. Like my flight was $200, right?
Oh wow.
And I'm
Yes.
and I'm
Okay.
still I was still at that point where I was like, I ain't have no whole bunch of money. But when I had found a deal to go to Iceland on a now
Booked.
defunct airline, I was like, oh, bet we going. So people was like, how did you do it? And so I was like, you know what? This could really be a thing. And so I started just sharing different ways that I was traveling without going broke, the different hacks that I was learning along the way, because every trip I took, it was another learning experience as far as like a payment plan or a hotel hack or something like that. And every trip I would
Yeah.
learn something new, and I would just start sharing it with my followers.
So, were you by yourself?
No, not initially. No.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
when did you get to the point where you were just not afraid of solo travel, of going by yourself? Because I'll tell you mine, but I'm
Okay.
gonna hear yours first.
So I kept seeing a lot of people do these solo trips. And I was like, oh, I would like to try, but I'm scared. So there was a girl that I met when I went to Morocco a few years ago for a wedding, and one of the girls who was my villa mate, we ended up developing a relationship. Whole time I didn't know that she was a whole travel content creator with her own platform, right? I just thought she
Mm,
was real cool. So we ended up following each other, and I saw that she was hosting these amazing girls trips, right?
mm-hmm.
So when 2019 came around, she had posted a trip to Antigua. And I said, you know what? I'm going to go by myself. I don't know anybody that's going on that trip other than the girl. And I'm going to just see what it's like. Because if I can go on this group trip and not know anybody, then I'll survive on my own. And so I went on the trip fully not expecting to be social. I was like, going to keep to myself. Whole time I ended up making like 18 new friends. But I knew that if I
Oh, you thought
could,
you was just going to keep to yourself and be like, oh, she don't be talking to nobody.
yeah,
That's the
because I
girl.
thought they
She
was
on the
going.
trip, but she don't be talking to nobody.
I thought they was gonna be like that. Whole time I had a whole
Really?
yes, but whole time I had the first night there. Somebody was like, "I'm about to go get dinner. Does anybody want to go?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I'll go." And then I had a whole crisis that happened to me overnight, and they all looked out for me. And I was like,
Mm.
"Oh, okay. These girls are like real cool." And I still talk to them now, a lot of them now, and I have traveled with them since then. But I was like, okay, if I can survive this trip not knowing anybody, then I can definitely go on my own. Like
Yeah.
go elsewhere on my own. So and then I've been like solo traveling ever since.
And you know what? It's so crazy because people will try to like put fear in you about traveling
Mhm.
alone and things like that. For me, I ended up going to Mexico. I ended up going by myself because it was like a last minute situation. I think it was Memorial Day weekend or something like that. And I was like, I got to get out of here. I want to go on a trip. I'm ready to book. And nobody could go. And I was like, you know
Mhm.
what? I'm going to just go by myself. I'm going to go by myself. I'm going to enjoy my own company. If I meet people there, I'll meet people there. And it was such a just relaxing trip. I met
Mhm.
people on the excursion because I still did my excursions. I'm an excursion girl. So I was still doing all the things and going to dressing up, going to dinner by myself. And it was relaxing, and I recommend it for anybody. I know people are like, "Oh, I don't want to be out of the country by myself," but I would say start small. Like,
Mhm.
go somewhere
Yep.
where you can just kind of unwind and it's not like remote. You're not in the middle of a
Yeah.
jungle somewhere, it's somewhere where you can really clear your mind because I think it's
Mhm.
needed. And after that, I was like, oh, I'm good. I can travel by myself. I can go out the country by myself. Like,
Yeah.
nobody
That
ready to book?
I
Okay.
agree. And listen, and that's the part. It's also I was tired of waiting on people.
Yeah.
Because you know how that go. Everybody in the group chat ready to catch flights, not feelings until it's time to make that payment.
Okay. Yes. And I am not like I don't like following up behind people like, hey, did you get your flight? Hey, did you do this? I'm like, I can't do it. So
I'm
it's
right there
like, all
with
right,
you.
well, the trip is coming up next month. Who's going?
Yep.
Who's paid in
Exactly.
full? Because I'm ready. And I
Exactly. And
always
nine
try to
times,
like plan.
yeah, definitely. So you feel like you try to like have all your ducks in a row and then tell people about it, or do you just plan and like I'm going regardless?
Yeah. I think it's better when you can kind of give people something to look forward to or to prepare for. So I'm like,
Okay.
okay, this is the flight. This is where we're going to stay. This is the cost. This is, how you pay or whatever. And then everybody can just do, make sure you get your flight first and, lock that
Mm-hmm.
in. But now I have like a new travel hack. So I'm going to be giving that a go now that you done gave us, some good tips.
Okay
Yeah. So I am excited about that. So where is the best place you've traveled so far? Like that you would
then.
just keep going. I know it's hard
That is
because you've
so
traveled a lot of
hard.
places.
That is so hard. So I have a couple that are my favorites. I absolutely loved Morocco, South
Yeah.
Africa, of course, Australia, because that was my first place. But there was a little hidden gem that I've been to several times. I very rarely post about it because I don't be wanting nobody to know. Because
You're like me with
I'm just like,
restaurants. Oh my gosh.
I don't want them to Tulum it. They want Tulum it. They want
Man,
Tulum
what?
it.
I
And I
got to
just don't want them
Tulum
to.
right on time. My birthday, it was
Mm-hmm.
right. I think was Tulum right before the pandemic? I think
I
if not, it was before that. But Tulum was such a good time, and I remember after it
mm-hmm.
had to be before the pandemic because after we got back and all that, man, people turned Tulum into Miami. I was like,
They
oh, I'm
did.
so glad. I'm so glad I got there before they
Yeah.
started
So
wilding in Tulum.
because they definitely Tulum is now the Mexican Miami, and I just feel like this one particular destination they're going to Tulum it, but I'm gonna tell y'all anyway. So
Okay.
it's called Isla Hobosh. It looks
Mm.
like Isla Hobox, and it is an
Wait, hold on.
absolute
It's
vibe.
it's a whole box.
It looked like it's a whole box, but no, it's
Like, did
IS.
I hear that right?
It do look like it's a whole box, but it's ISLA, and then the next word is HOLBOX. So it looks like whole box, but it's whole bosh.
Oh,
And it is a vibe. And so the girl who I mentioned that I had went on my first like group trip, not knowing anybody. She actually had hosted that trip in 2021, and I've been
mm,
back a couple times since then. But I never posted I'm going. I don't even tell anybody I'm going, other than like my brother or maybe my cousin. I'll let them know like, hey, I'm sneaking off here. Um,
oh, that's
but
your
it's
sneaky link destination.
that's my
Got
sneaky
it.
link destination.
Got it.
Only
Got
it
it.
don't be no sneaky links there. But if somebody's son want a sneaky link, I'll be damn. So, but it's just such a beautiful experience because you have to fly into Cancun and then you have to drive 2.5 hours to another spot. At
Mm.
that spot, it's like a marina, and you take a ferry over to the island, and it's like a 30-minute ferry. So it is quite an excursion to get
Oh
there,
wow.
which kind
Okay.
of keeps people from actually wanting to go. But once you get there,
Yeah.
it is beautiful. There
Cause
are
they
no
like, we
cars.
gotta what? We gotta do what? And we gotta get on the
Yes.
bus and what? And then we gotta.
Yep.
Okay, you're the
Mm-hmm.
person. This is the reason why.
It's
It's all
yes.
this.
So it's there's no cars. They have golf carts. There are like very minimal street lights. Tacos are $1. Cocktails are like $5 or less.
Oh man.
They have islands off of the island that cannot be touched by man. It's nothing for you to be driving. Riding on a boat and see like dolphins come up. It's just a beautiful
So wait,
experience.
so that part of it, do you just not get out? Like you just, it's like a drive through situation. You said it can't be. Is no one there, or do
No,
you
no, no,
have
no.
to?
There's people there.
No, no. The way where you said that you can't, it can't be touched by man.
Oh, on the islands that are off of the island, yes. So it's
Oh,
just
okay.
like you can like ride past it on a boat, and you'll see like they're like, oh, we can't let you guys get out right here because those
Yeah.
islands cannot be touched by by man. So you just see the flamingos in their natural habitat and stuff like that. So
Got it.
it's just a beautiful experience, and it just gives you an appreciation for nature because we live in a very congested area. And so it's very rare for us to see stars, right? But when you
Mm.
are on an island where there's like limited, like minimal pollution, and you look up and they're like, oh, this is Jupiter and this is this and this is that, it just gives you such an appreciation for just, nature and just being
Yeah.
out of the city, out of the smoke. So it's hands
And
down one
where
of my
people
favorite
are
places.
not, people don't really know about it. Like that's the, I mean,
Yes,
well, they know about it now. So I'm gonna just
they
go ahead and
do.
book mine before anybody, before
Do
y'all
that.
try to loom it, as we say.
Yes.
So where is your least, or what is your least favorite destination?
Ciao.
Oh my gosh, where?
It would definitely have to be Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. I don't ever got to go back again. Never
We
again.
we see each other
We see each other.
with
Okay.
that.
Never again.
I agree. I keep saying it, and I'm like, all right, well, maybe I'll give DR one more.
No,
I
don't do it.
can't. Yeah, yeah,
Because I was right there with you. I already didn't care for it. Like, it wasn't that I didn't care for it. It was that I went and I was like, I never have to go back again. Right. Like, I did it.
yeah.
I can check that country off of the list. But I was offered an opportunity to go on a content creator trip just last month. And I
Hmm.
thought, when the opportunity presented itself, I said, you know what? I may never get the opportunity to go on a content creator trip again. So I'm going to go ahead and say yes.
Hmm.
And it was a disaster. And I don't ever
Wow.
have to go back again.
Oh man.
Yeah, I don't ever have to go back again. Now, it wasn't the content creators itself, because when I tell you we came as strangers and left as family, I'm not
Yeah.
joking.
But when you go
But
through things, and yeah, it brings you, when you all can relate on some bullshit. It brings people together.
it does bring people together. But we definitely had a good time. Like, from the moment we got there, everybody was real cool. We had a great time. But then Hurricane Fiona came, and then
Oh man.
that's when all hell broke loose, and it was like, yeah, this is not
Wow.
fun. And we all got, not all of us, but there was a good chunk of us that ended up getting stranded.
Like, had to stay, like
Yeah, like we endured the
stranded,
hurricane.
and oh man.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I've never been in a situation where, like, I have to deal with like a hurricane or any natural disaster type situation. Like, I mean, I did, it was snowing and we were coming back from Mexico, and it was snowing in DC. And I'm
Hmm.
like, okay, we got to try to make it back before the storm, before it gets really bad. Baby, they cancel all types of flights. We ended up, the best part about that, even though I hate getting the runaround from airports, because you got to like switch flights, and oh, we can't put you on this one. This one is booked. And it was just like a lot of just shit. And the best part about it was the layover. So we had to spend a night in Fort Lauderdale. And
Okay.
so you already know we got a ride to Miami. And
I'm
so
about to
we
say, I
spent
know
the
you did.
evening. We got something to eat. We eat drinks and all of that. So that was like the best part about it. But on the way back, they sent us to LaGuardia Airport, and we had to like buy stuff to, it was, yeah. That was like one of the worst trips coming back
That's a
ever.
horror
But
story.
it yeah, it was, because it was so much more to it. But I was just like, now we can look back and laugh about it. I was talking to a friend about it. I was like, remember when we got stuff? Now we can look back and laugh about it. But baby, being in New
Hmm.
York with a jacket, a little jean jacket, and it's storming, like, yeah, no.
And 1 degree outside.
Okay. Yeah. I can't do it. Okay, so
Definitely.
talk about one of your most memorable experiences while on vacation.
So for me, the trip that impacted me the most is I did a mission trip to South Africa. and
Oh,
we served in a
nice.
township called Masapumalele, and it was so eye opening. I was there for a good chunk of a good amount of time, but I spent like a week there for the mission trip, and then I extended my trip for personal.
Mm-hmm.
But the way that those kids in that township impacted me, I left there feeling guilty about having a pleasure trip after that.
Oh,
Um,
wow. Yeah.
just because they had so little, but they were so thankful,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just thankful for the impact. Like as much they said that we impacted them, but I think we walked away more, more impacted. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, that was definitely an eye opening experience for me. It made me realize how much we waste here in America. Those kids ate masa every single day, just cornmeal with water every single day. And they were
Mm-hmm.
so thankful for it. And then when we came in there and went grocery shopping for them and gave them chicken, chicken is something we eat all the time, but it was
Mm-hmm.
Thanksgiving for them. You know what I mean? So it
Yeah.
was just a really, really beautiful experience.
Okay. So we talked about a couple of your travel hacks.
Hmm.
What are some of your travel essentials? Things that you can never leave without, things that you have to have in your bag.
Okay, so the first one is technically in my bag because it's on my cell phone, and that
Okay.
is mobile passport control.
Mm.
If you are a budget traveler and you don't want to spend that $200+ to get global entry, mobile passport control is your best friend. It is a free app where you just download it. What you got to say, girl?
Did you? So you don't have to pay for global entry, but you can use that, and it
Hmm.
it takes the place of global entry.
Technically, technically, yes. Hmm. The only thing is that this has only happened to me twice,
Mm-hmm.
where I put all my information in mobile passport, and then when I got to the airport, the mobile passport line was closed. And I travel pretty often, so for me to travel pretty often, and it's only happened to me twice, that lets you know that it does work. But you
Wow.
just upload all your
Wow.
information. You put your passport number, your picture. You have to take a selfie. Enter it. You pick which airport you're flying into. You answer all the customs questions, and then when you get to customs, you pay attention to the signage, and you get in the mobile passport line. You'll be in and out in 5 minutes.
I don't even remember seeing mobile passport on a sign.
Because you wasn't
I
looking.
wasn't because I'm like, oh, I have global entry.
I mean, but if you had
It was
global entry,
like,
then baby, you the creme de la creme. But for those who don't want to pay for the global entry or are waiting for their application to be accepted,
see, now I did
this is
mine
the great option.
during like the pandemic situation.
Mm.
And there was no, like, the wait wasn't even that long. I don't, you know how sometimes they like it's backed up, so you're gonna have to wait weeks and weeks or whatever. It was not
Hmm.
that long. I set my date. When I got there, there was nobody in line. There was nobody in the office except the workers.
Hmm.
And so I just got it done. And I was like, I'm so glad because every time I travel, I am pissed when I come back in and I don't have it. I don't have TSA pre-check and I don't have that. And so TSA pre-check was something
Hmm.
that I said, I have to, yeah. Because
Yeah,
that's the
definitely.
worst part about traveling for me and for my son. I know he hates the customs line and just wait. I don't like getting to the airport super early,
Yeah, yeah. The only airport I feel
which
like
is a
it don't matter if
problem.
you no, no, for real. But the only airport I feel like you ain't got no choice. You better get there early is Atlanta, because Atlanta Airport is the reason why I have TSA pre-check, because I done
Mm.
almost missed a flight on plenty a day.
Well,
And
I would
even
say Atlanta, LA, and I don't even fly into Miami. But because of the chaos
yes,
that happens in Miami airport, it's like you got to get to where you're going. You
you
need to
do, you do.
but yeah, or even any airport I think that has like what is it? The monorail? It's probably not called the monorail. Is it the monorail?
It's gonna be the monorail.
It's gonna be the monorail today. Okay.
Okay.
Shout out to The Simpsons because that's where I got it from. The monorail. But whoever has that's where you really need to, because baby, it is not fun being on that little ass train.
It's
And
not.
you're like,
It's
oh my
not.
gosh, I'm not gonna make it to my gate.
I've never been to LA, surprisingly, but
Okay.
Atlanta Airport is definitely JFK, definitely
Oh
Miami,
man.
definitely like if it's an international hub, baby.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's no joke, like literally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else? Any other travel essentials?
Travel, I mean, just typical stuff, like of course, like hand sanitizer, Lysol, a makeup
Are you
bag,
one of
a
those
travel
people
tripod.
that a travel tripod? Yes.
hmm
For all the pictures.
For all of the pictures. So you
I
don't want that
actually
big
keep
old
one
bulky
in my
thing
work
with you.
bag.
I know
It's
that's
like a
right
little,
because
it's like a little stick. Once I found out it could be compact and you don't have to like lug and do all that.
yes.
No, I love it. Have you ever had any really embarrassing moments while traveling? I can think of one of mine.
Embarrassing. I mean, I don't know if I can say embarrassing, but I did have a moment this year that was like, bruh, they're like, this
You
is not.
had a lot of Okay, what happened?
This year I traveled the most this year, but I had the most hilarious stuff happen to me. But in February of this year, I went to Guadeloupe. It's a
Okay.
French island in the Caribbean. I just want to say that French people give zero Fs. They do not care about you or your well-being or anything else. But
Hmm.
um, my hotel room, I did not know the bathroom was a wet bathroom. So like the shower, the sink, the toilet were all in one space. So I could literally take a shower and pee at the same time if I wanted to, right? Because it was all in the same
The
same room.
shower, the sink.
But so think about
Okay.
your
I was just
bathroom
trying to
at
picture
home.
it. Mm-hmm.
So but there is nothing for you to walk into to get to the shower. Like you can be at the shower and then walk
Mm-hmm.
a couple of steps and then be at the
Oh, okay,
toilet and
okay.
walk
So
a couple steps and
everything
be at
is
the sink.
like okay, got you.
Yeah,
Okay.
but
Yep.
there's nothing like dividing it, right?
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't know that when I got the room. And so I went to get out of the shower, I had my towel around me, and I went to walk into the actual like room part, and the water came out from the bathroom and I slipped and fell, right? And I mean, when I tell you I bust my knee so hard, like I could not get up. And I was sitting there like, how the hell am I gonna get up off this floor? Right.
Oh my
So as I'm trying
gosh.
to get myself together, somebody bangs on the door. Now, mind you, in Guadeloupe, English is not spoken, right? So
They're like, what the hell is going on over there?
my French is minimal, right? But I do
Oh man.
remember I did know how to say I'm hurt at that time. I can't remember how to say it now. But
That's
somebody
a
banged
travel
on the door.
essential, y'all. Get a
Yes.
translation app.
But
Mm-hmm.
my cell phone wasn't nowhere near me. The cell phone was over
Oh
by the
man.
bed, and I'm over on the floor, still trying to figure out how the heck I'm gonna get up. And at that time, I was almost
Yes.
300 pounds, right?
Oh
So
man.
I could barely get up.
Okay.
So they bang on the door, boom, 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 and I'm like, yes, because I'm in pain. I forget they don't speak French, right? So the man said something in French, and I kind of opened the door and looked like I'm on the floor and I'm hurt. And so I say I'm hurt in French, and he said, oh, he told me he was French. He told me in English that I was making too much noise, and he left me right there on the floor with my busted knee. Okay, so I found a way to drag
Man.
myself to the bed, and I pulled myself up, and I put my clothes on or whatever, and my knee is still hurt. Right, so when I get up in the morning, my knee is still hurt. Right, so I'm limping because my knee is swollen. And the
Mm-hmm.
housekeeper, she let me know. She was like, what happened? Are you hurt? I said, yeah, I'm hurt. And she basically told me to go to the front desk so they could help me, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
limped to the front desk because I'm like, oh, they're going to have sympathy on me. So I go to the front desk and the lady speaks English. And I said, I'm hurt. I need some medicine and I need some ice. And I said, can you help me get some medicine? And she was like, do you want me to call you a taxi? No, I want some like Tylenol or something. She said, impossible. I said, well, can I get some ice? She said, you could walk over to the bar to get some ice. Even though I told her I was hurt. Like, you see my knee is swollen. They did not
What?
care.
Oh,
They did not
man.
care. It was so
That would
terrible.
have pissed me off so bad.
Guadeloupe had me feeling like I ain't never want to go to a French speaking country again because just how they just don't care. Like they literally had no interest in me being hurt. They didn't want to help me, accommodate me, anything. So not necessarily an embarrassing story, but
I was about to say that sounds like
me.
one of the worst places that you've been story. I think that one was
island. It was a
like,
beautiful island.
That situation. Okay, I've had several embarrassing things happen to me while traveling, but one of the most embarrassing things, as a matter of fact, I was coming back from my solo trip. I was at the airport in Cancun. I was coming back, and I stopped and got some snacks, and so I ended up getting the mango with the chili. What is it? It has like tahini on it.
Yeah, tahini.
It's like okay. So I had that. I had like a ginger ale or something. And I was fucking that mango up. I mean, I was crushing it. Got on the flight. And of course, I'm a window seat girl. So I was sitting on the inside. I had two sisters, okay? When I say sisters, like us, like sitting beside me. And we took off or whatever, and all of a sudden my stomach was like, bitch, why would you do that? Why would you eat all that? Why would you eat all that mango? So I was like, okay, am I about to throw up? So I went to the bathroom. Nothing came up, nothing came out, okay? I was like, okay, let me just stay in here for a minute. Went back to my seat though. You know, I have to step over people. And I hate doing that. Like, excuse me. So I was sitting there and then I felt it about to come up. So I tapped the girl beside me and I said, hey, I'm sorry to do this, but I feel like I'm about to get sick. So I just wanted to give you a heads up so that you know that I'm about to throw up. And mind you, the plane is loud too, so you really couldn't hear me. I was trying to be quiet, and so I got the bag, honey, and I turned, and I was just throwing up in this bag.
Oh my gosh.
You do not want to be the person throwing up on the flight.
No.
Okay? You don't want to be that person. And so I put the bag, I didn't even know where to put the bag. I just sat it on the floor beside me and I was like, oh my God, the flight had really just started. We had such a long way to go. And I was just like rocking, like, please, Lord, please don't let me throw up no more. I was so sick. I used 3 of them bags throughout that flight.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. And I had a layover. So I got to Charlotte and I went into first of all, it's embarrassing. After the second bag, it's just like, fuck it. Everybody know I'm throwing up. Like, I was that girl. And then when I got to Charlotte, I went into the family bathroom and I blew that bathroom up. And you know, the family bathroom is not like you can't go in. It's like right there in the terminal. Like everybody's walking by. And I know it was families waiting when I came out the bathroom. It was like a line of like strollers, people ready to change their babies. And here I come out of there feeling 1,000 pounds lighter. And because I felt so much better, I got all of it up and ate all of it out. And so I just kind of had my shades on and I was just like, like,
sorry for
if
y'all.
you just look straight, it won't be as embarrassing. But it was so embarrassing. That
is definitely embarrassing. That is definitely embarrassing. Oh my goodness. It was.
And for me, I was like, you know what? In my mind, I'm like, I'm never going to see these people again. But it was definitely embarrassing. You do not want to be the person that gets sick on the flight, y'all.
No. Or in a bathroom like that where it's like the family bathroom, you know?
The family bathroom. Well, I mean, that's not the first time I've had something, you know. You've never had to like go to the bathroom. First of all, I hate having to do that in a public restroom, period.
Definitely, yeah.
But that's not the first time I've had an emergency situation where I had to just get it out. Yeah. But this one wasn't as embarrassing because I don't know. I have like a little trick that I do.
Oh, what's the trick?
So I went to the bathroom and I probably did blow it up. I don't know. Listen, I wanted to just cover myself, right?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't usually. So my cousin, shout out to my cousin Kia, she has put me on to the poopery stuff that you spray in the toilet. And
Yes.
I didn't know anything about that. This was years ago. I never knew anything about that. I don't even know if it was out at that time. So I was in the bathroom having my way. Okay. And when I was done, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have any perfume. Usually I keep like a little bit of perfume or something. No, I didn't have nothing except some scented lotion.
I know
right?
that's right.
I put the lotion in my hand. Okay. And then I clap like LeBron does. You know how LeBron does the clap with the powder? And I was just like fanning my hands around so that it could just spread out. And I was just, yeah. So I wasn't as embarrassed because it was like a little fragrance. It was it was a little bit of fragrance in there.
I'm going to have to use this as a travel hack. Like, if you don't have any perfume.
No, just, hey, spread it out. Like, it works, y'all. So, quick fire questions.
Okay.
What's the cheapest destination you've been to? Where is the cheapest destination?
Oh, that's such a loaded question. But I'm going to say Panama.
Nice. The most expensive?
Iceland.
Really? You know, my most expensive was Turks.
Okay, Turks is really, really high. I've yet to go to Turks, but like Iceland was super cheap to get there. Mm-hmm. But once you got there, like I remember buying a carton of eggs that was $10. But like
that's like Turks. I had we had an Airbnb, really nice, and went to the grocery store and bacon was like $9.
Yes.
And at that time, I know bacon is probably like that now for us in the grocery store now with inflation. But when I went, I was like $9 bacon. Yeah, it was a thing. It wasn't the only thing that I felt like was like affordable and stuff was like the fish fry that they have, where they have all the food trucks and you can get like jerk chicken and rice and peas and all that type of stuff. So that was great, but grocery store, it was expensive. Yeah.
But I would say that like it's expensive to get there, but it's cheap when you get there would be South Africa. Like a glass of wine is like $1. So that's why I said
really that is on my list. Okay. That's on my list too.
Definitely.
That's on my list.
Let's talk so I can tell you all the things, because I went to South Africa for like almost 2 weeks, and I think I might have spent like $700 the whole time I was there.
That is some good PTO. That's the only thing that I can think about when you say that for 2 weeks. Like that's the amount of time I would want to go someplace. And I think when my son goes to college, I can start taking those like 2-week vacations where it's like, you know, I could be gone and he's good, and I can't wait for it. I cannot wait.
I can't wait for you.
Okay, so how do you budget?
So when I first was trying to travel and I didn't have a lot, I didn't really have the means to travel, I would use apps like Digit and Capital. I don't even know if Capital is still a thing, but it's Capital with a Q. Mm-hmm. And you could start sinking funds. So it would be like, okay, every time I swipe my card, the change will go into my Capital account. Or I could set up a rule where it was like every time I spend less than $90 at Trader Joe's, then that money will go into my travel sinking fund, right? And so you can set up multiple sinking funds within the app. Like I had at one point, I wanted an English bulldog, and I also wanted to go to the Bahamas. And so I had a sinking fund for my bulldog, and I had a sinking fund for my trip to the Bahamas. But there's several different hacks that I use to like save money for travel. One of the things is like when I shop online a lot, and I'll use an app called Rakuten when I'm shopping online so that I can earn cash back. And so every 3 months, you can either like get an Amazon gift card, you can get the money transferred to your Amex, transferred and changed into points that go towards your Amex card, or you can get the cash. And I always opted to get the cash, and I would put that cash in like my travel sinking fund. But I also take a little bit of each paycheck that I earn, and I will put that towards a travel sinking fund. And I also have I don't have the side hustle anymore, but I used to actually deliver groceries for Instacart.
Side hustles are great.
Because I was earning, I live in like a city area. So it was nothing for me to make like a couple $100s in like 2 hours or so, delivering groceries. And then that would be like towards my travel fund. So, another thing is for you to cut out things that you don't need. It depends on how much you're trying to travel, or, what's important to you. For me personally, I do not. Out. Oh, baby, that ain't happening.
I can't do it. Okay, I tried. I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna eat out. I'm gonna just, and it never happens.
Food be good, and outside food tastes better than inside food.
Okay? It does.
So eating out was really important to me, but there were certain things that were not important to me, and that was having cable.
Okay.
And certain things that
has me in a chokehold too, man. All the streaming services.
So
how many do I need?
You don't get that, and that's the other thing is that I I got somebody else Paramount Plus. I got my brother's Netflix. I got Hulu. I pay $5.
Not for long. You're gonna have to start paying for that Netflix.
Yeah,
they already said it.
They did say that, and I just ain't gonna be Netflixing. I'm just going to my house.
You're just gonna be chilling.
No, I'm just gonna okay. Nope. I'm gonna pay my $5.99 for the Hulu, and that's it. But honestly, I just really found different side hustles, and there are so many different ways for you to make money, especially without leaving your home. You can do surveys for money. You can narrate audiobooks. You can grade standardized tests. Just like, find a side hustle that will give you some additional income towards, so that you can save it towards, shopping, eating out, traveling, whatever is important to you. So like that's the main thing that I always say to people is like the best way to save for travel is to get a side hustle, because then you're like it's just money in the bank.
So let's get into this segment, and you have to choose one. This is the travel edition, y'all. Okay, here we go. Plane ride or road trip?
Plane ride.
Airbnb or hotel?
Hotel.
Group trip or solo trip?
Solo.
Wow. Okay. Street food or restaurant?
Ooh, street food.
I love street food. Mm-hmm. It's just so authentic. Like
it's so authentic.
You can feel the love. Not that you can't at a restaurant. It's just different. It's different when you can connect with the people that just made your food, and this is what they're doing for. Like, yeah, I love it.
Yeah, that street food hits different.
Yeah. Relaxation or adventure?
Ooh, relenture. Because I like both of them.
Okay, I'll try to make it easier then. Okay, beach day or excursion?
I'm going to say beach day because sometimes you can get the excursion to the beach.
See? Okay, ocean or pool?
Oh, I love both. Oh, ocean.
Okay. Spontaneous or planned?
You know what? I'm going to speak life into existence. I'm going to say spontaneous.
I'm here for that. I like spontaneity. Mm-hmm. All right.
Especially with somebody's son.
Ooh. Oh, that's one of okay. Sleep in or up early?
I would like to sleep in so bad, but unfortunately, I don't know how to do that. So
what?
Up early.
I am so the sleep in person. I know my cousin. First of all, she's so opposite. She's a Virgo, so she plans everything. She's up early. She wants every minute on the trip accounted for. Oh, and you do have to have one of those people with you, but just don't expect me to fill that time in with you. I might get up at 10 instead of 7. Like so I'm not that girl.
Yeah.
Especially if I had a long night.
I will wake up early, but I do not expect anyone to get up with me. I will go out and do my own thing. I am definitely going to take a nap on a trip. And if you feel like you got to have every minute accounted for, and you think I'm going to do that, then we not travel partners.
I need some type of organization too. So it kind of balances out. But
Okay.
All right. Sand or snow?
Sand.
Pack light or overpack?
Overpack, but still in the carry-on because I ain't paying to check no bag.
That's me. Would you rather miss your flight or have your luggage lost? Not that you would rather either one, but if you had to pick one.
I'm going to say miss a flight because my luggage ain't going to be lost because I'm a team carry-on, baby.
True. Vacation or girls trip?
I've never had a vacation, so I'm going to say vacation.
They're amazing. Okay, how about this? How Stella Got Her Groove Back or Poetic Justice? Travel, you know what I mean? Think of the movie. Like, they both had some love situations happen in different types of environments.
You know what? I'm going to say Poetic Justice because Lucky had a job. Winston ain't had no job.
And when you that Poetic Justice, it's something a little spicy about that. You know what I mean? I want to go to the carnival. I want to crash a family reunion and act like I'm there. Like, you can look back on stuff like that and be like, oh my gosh, boy, we had a time on that trip.
He had a time on that trip and he had a job. Like, that's the big thing, that he had a job.
Good job. He was
a good job. Okay,
got that federal check.
Okay, it's giving Lucky and Justice for me.
Yeah. Okay. Well, in keeping with that, Mile High Club or Sex on the Beach?
Ooh, give it to me on the beach, daddy.
Oh, okay. I've always wanted to experience the Mile High Club, but I mean, if it happens one day.
Honey, my check needs lighters on, so I can't. Ain't no Mile High Club because somebody's finna break a leg and get stuck. So we're gonna take the beach.
Yes. Well, on that note, this has been such a great conversation and you've given us some good tips. So let everyone know where they can find you and give your, all your socials and contact information, websites, and all of that good stuff.
Okay. So you can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Red Lips and Passports. And my website is currently under construction, but should be live next week. It's redlipsandpassports.com.
Yes, Jen, thank you so much. This was such a fun combo. And I have a million other things to talk about. Part 2 of our travel talk.
Yes, let's do it again. I really appreciate you for having me on.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate you.